Spanner is going full like scorch earth in this episode, which does make sense because like I don't get why I've seen some reaction to this episode being like, oh, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. I'm like, dude, like for the longest time Spanner's been saying that like chemis are just tools for people to use, and now him seeing people getting scared of the chemis and the other want to use them for their own good, yeah, him pretty much denouncing the association and saying that the association was bad and they're pretty much incompetent as all hell, and I would be the one that helps to bring back peace with destroying the chemis. It's something interesting. Again, like having him be in complete conflict with Hotoro, but being in the kind of right about it. Like, let's not forget when people kind of saw the reactions of the chemis and also the kind of them being introduced really to the association, like people went to Kyoka's home and attacked her in her own home. I'm sorry, like if my like parent figure like was attacked for basically being a part of an association that to protected humanity more than actually harm it, yeah, I would have gone scorch earth too, which is insane to think that if you really think about it, he didn't really descend to villainy. He's a villain in Hotoro's eyes, but you can clearly see he's not really attacking people. He doesn't want to kill people. He's kind of, if you think about it, want to return society to how it used to be, maybe even before the chemis were around, pretty much eradicating the chemis completely and erasing everybody's memories, which is really interesting that he does actually get some sort of a following, which again I would talk about slightly more now if I really want to, so I'm going to talk about it now. It feels like this conflict is going to end kind of next episode, which could be not, but we're like episode 45. We are very close to the end of the show, so I don't see Spanner and Hotoro continue to be in this conflict for very long. But like that major conflict was there from like episode 3 or 4. Like Spanner's want, or at least what he thinks about the chemis, was very much like presented in the very first episode, and he didn't even like maneuver and change. He still kept his ways. Yeah, you could say he had something with Mahawil or like a Dino Oni and all of the other chemis that he used, but he and probably they see themselves just as partners, as just like they're partners in fighting the evil. Like, I think it's really cool how much, like, if you think about it, the conflict between those two is really interesting, at least psychologically. Physically, I'm sorry to tell you, like, I think Shining Gotchard can absolutely beat the living shit out of regular ass Valvarad. I'm sorry. So it's like, I don't see at least the physical aspect of that fight to be less than those two episodes, like episode 44 and 45 and 46. I believe most of the physicality would happen next episode, and it is going to be interesting what's going to happen next, because I don't believe there's going to be a full ass resolution to this. I think maybe with a certain character returning, it could lead Spanner to a different path. While I do love seeing the just world break apart, with it regaining the knowledge about the chemis, with some being genuinely terrified by them. Like, see the first episode, remembering getting attacked by a bunch of chemis or even amalgams, and it's really cool. And you can also see like the people that are using that hysteria to their own gain, with bootleg Banjo Ryuga that for what I didn't know is that we're part of his third storyline. The first one, I actually remembered it being actually the Zukyun storyline. Then there is this one, and the one that I kind of forgot about was the X-Rex kind of two-parter, where we actually got to see his ex. And his ex is the person that got madly in love with Zukyun and was pretty much almost rejecting the dad because he wanted to write about like dinosaurs and they didn't want to. It's really cool. Like, I think it is really interesting because if you think about it, it is very much kind of like talking about how much the internet and internet personalities would rile people up against someone. No matter if it's a political thing, it's a social thing, doesn't really matter. It is really interesting, and like, again, it's very much not subtle about this because they do make it like the head person in charge of that operation, the person that is known to be a piece of shit in Gotchard's universe, but it is really cool and really interesting. They even like somehow broke into the academy. Like, here's the thing. They did tell us that, oh, they followed them. They followed Hotoro and Rene when both of them were pretty much finished with the fight with the two amalgams. But it still doesn't tell us how the fuck they got in. It's like, let's not forget, you need to be an alchemist to get in. Did they just kidnap the person and didn't film it? Like, that's actually kind of, that's more fucked up, which is more interesting that people are still on their side with that. Just saying. But I did love kind of like the main, at least physical conflict of the episode being a return to my favorite episode of the first half of the show, being episode number 5 with the return of Yukio.
What a mark.
Hey, stop saying insider terms like out loud in public. What are you, some sort of a mark? While I did also like that the Yakuza members from that episode also returned, which it is kind of interesting that in the end, like, their head, or at least the person that is semi more in charge than anybody else, became Amalgam too. It is kind of cool. I wish it was like the butterfly slash like Billy the Kid one. I forgot what's the name. Oh, it was Billy the Kid, or it was like a pirate. No, it was a pirate. I forgot the name of the combination. But I wish it was one of them and they would have given us a new suit or just kind of remold the suit to make it that, because like I specifically remember just Hotoro transforming into a gun with wings and the Gotchard driver on top of it. I don't know. While like I did like what the show is doing with Garaja, specifically with her being way more of a talkative threat. You see that she has powers. She's very strong. Like, next to all the kings, she's as strong, but she has way more kind of you would say, the psychological more brain powers, if you want to call it brain powers, with her actually foreseeing shit. How much, if you think about it, when we saw it for the first time in this episode, it was kind of like she started foreseeing, and it's like the concept of time in that moment didn't really register with me, so it felt like she was just like foreseeing shit, and it's pretty much in real time. It is going to be interesting if it's in real time or not, and having her pretty much saying to Hotoro, hey, this entire thing that I'm doing, someone's getting hurt. And Hotoro, like the dumbass that he is, he actually like hear that sentence and he translated like literally someone's going to get hurt, like in the physical aspect and not the mental aspect, because it was very much alluding to Spanner getting hurt. While I think Toei does listen to my videos, because I remember a couple of reviews ago I did ask where the fuck was Gigist. Well, he's I don't know, monitoring fucking Garaja. He's just kind of like watching her and saying, oh, what the fuck is she doing? Oh, that's interesting. And I did like the dissolve effect between Spanner and Gigist, kind of with both of them having the same black flame powers, and it seems like the show is kind of like running into weird different directions, and it's like, so like Hotoro is just gonna fight Garaja? Like our main character is going to fight one of the side villains, while like fucking Rene that probably got a power up? Maybe? Like it is going to be interesting if she did. So like Rene is kind of going against Garyon and Atropos, while like Spanner is going against Gigist, and now like Hotoro is just going straight after Galaja, which does make sense. But it's going to be more interesting how the fuck they're going to kind of revert everything to Hotoro need to fight the main bad guy. Is there going to be a main bad guy? Is like everybody's just going to defeat each other and that's it? I don't know, maybe. But we finally got the actual reason of Garyon maybe turning bad, because we're not sure if when he was made as a doll he was made to be a bad person, or he was like genuinely like a decent dude, and then he kind of started to pretty much hang around with Fuga, and he started to get jealous of Fuga and young Rene's relationship, and because of that he created Atropos. People are saying, oh, Garyon just wanted to be a dad, why the fuck he's looking for this world of gold? It's like, he created a daughter. He genuinely already did. Like, why the fuck he need another daughter? Like, he has a daughter. He has 3 daughters. He has the compliant one that actually is some of a daddy's little girl. Then he has the girl with the anger management issues, because every dad of 3 girls would have one of them having anger management, while the other is going around and just kind of like hanging out with like a biker dude and his mom. Hey, she's defined in some ways, I don't fucking know. Like, yeah, like it is interesting that now we're returning to Fuga, because where the fuck is he? He was in the movie, so where the fuck is he in the show? Like, I hope we're going to get a really cool kind of like 2-on-2 fucking fight with like Garyon transforming into Kamen Rider El Dorado, while Atropos transforms into Dread, and having Fuga as Wind and Rene as Majade, like fighting against them. Like, that would be cool. I hope that's going to happen. I really do, because like you set it up now, how much that fucking like pan up shot of fucking Atropos was really creepy in weird ways that I don't want to talk about. But yeah, overall, like this episode was great. How much it was kind of interesting that all of the big coverage from the beginning of the episode and none of it actually touched on the Legend special / arc, which leads me to 2 questions. At least one. Did they erase everybody's memory from like the Legend arc? And like no one in the world, or at least in the city, remembered Legend arriving and fucking, I don't remember, the 100 kind of coming in? Did they just forget about it? Or even the show now is kind of saying, yeah, that arc was quite shit, huh, Chira? Yeah, let's just forget that arc existed and we just go to shove it to the movie where maybe Garyon already defeated the 100, or like the 100 is somehow connected to Garyon. We're still not sure about that. But yeah, like that was actually really great. That was a great episode. It had some problems. I still think that the conflict between Hotoro and Spanner was done well, but the problem is it's the way that it's placed in the show. It feels like it's going to be super rushed. Like I really feel that next episode is just going to end it, and like it's going to lead to 2 ways, or like Spanner like accepting Hotoro's ways, or like Spanner kind of going off and trying to fight Gigist, or even teaming up with Gigist, which is going to be interesting. And I did like the reveal of Garyon creating a Trappist because he was just a Fuga, and Rene's relationship as father and daughter, while like the entire mass hysteria that was going around the world and using pretty much those A celebs to fuel that fire was like great. Again, it really feels like an endgame kind of type of thing, but like I don't know, it feels like the Spanner stuff just feels like it's going to be rushed. Like there is this like lingering thought in my head that it's like they're going to rush it and Spanner is going to be okay in the end. I'm not sure about that. It could be me, and in the end I was actually wrong, but right now on this episode, if I could give it a rating, it would be an A+. So what you thought about Gotchard episode 46? Comment below, let me know. I hope I said 46 in the video. Maybe I kind of already said 45 once, but yeah, I'm sorry. If you liked the video, please like it. Also, if you didn't subscribe yet, please do. It would help the subscribe button finally reach its goal to become a subscribed button. And yeah, like, don't forget, you're the only one that can prevent forest fires. And have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.